Welcome to Business Connect's exclusive interview series where we explore the stories of remarkable individuals making a difference in the business world. And today, we are privileged to introduce you to Sasidhar Thumuluri, MD and CEO of Subke Impact Solutions. Sasi is a seasoned expert with an extensive background in financial inclusion across more than 20 countries. So thank you so much for joining us today, Sasi.
Thank you, Kajal. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to talking to you.
Pleasure is all ours, Sasi. So, Sasi, let's get started with talking about your corporate journey. And I would like you to walk us through that, like when it comes to managing businesses, investments, and also advisory in the financial space. How did you manage that, and how has been your journey so far?
Thank you for that question. So my journey started almost 25 years ago when I was a management trainee who got introduced to this world of financial inclusion through the same company, the group that I currently run. I was an entry-level employee in Basics Group, where I currently run one of its companies. So that has actually changed my perspective in how businesses should be more valuable for society. So I took up this journey forward, spending all my rest of the time in financial inclusion. I've also been fortunate to spend some time outside India, having an opportunity to study abroad. So I have worked in investment world, who again, investing in similar companies all over the emerging markets. So that gave me a global exposure to this particular space. And then I moved back to India to pursue my entrepreneurial dreams, and Subke happened at that time. And I have been running Subke for the last 10 years, trying to disrupt this space, trying to solve for the financial inclusion by using technology and its benefits, trying to make sure that the benefits and the power of technology is exploited fully for making financial services accessible to the poor. At Subke, we work as technology at the center and make sure that the customers who we serve, who are usually low-income customers, get the best services in the most convenient manner, in the more flexible way, and make sure that they are no less than anybody else in terms of accessing banking services at their own doorstep. So that's the journey we are in, and I'm glad to explain more on that as we go. Thank you.
Amazing. Now we would also like you to elaborate on how your organization aims to transform lives through financial inclusion. And also, if you could just let us know some key milestones that have been achieved so far towards this specific mission as well.
Absolutely. So we have adopted a mission, a very simple mission, saying that we are here to transform lives by enabling financial inclusion through innovation and excellence. All the words that we have used in this mission for us are very, very important. We very firmly believe that making finance accessible can change lives. There are a lot of communities and entrepreneurs who are self-employed. They work hard day in, day out, but not many formal financial institutions are happy to lend money to them to build their businesses. So we have adopted this model, which, in one sense, from a lending perspective, we adopted microfinance as our business model, where we help a lot of rural communities, especially women, to access easy loans at their doorstep so that they can invest in their own or family businesses and grow. So this business has been now almost there for more than 2 decades. As I said, I started my journey in this world where we were innovating in microfinance those days, but now it's a large industry. So we all not only do microfinance, we also help most of the unbanked and underbanked communities to connect with banks. We help them open bank accounts. We help them withdraw their funds, deposit monies, transfer money, and borrow. So we kind of try to create micro banking kind of experiences for these communities who typically don't go to a typical bank branch. It is not easy for them to understand the processes and complexities. So we break it down for them and simplify it and offer them in the vicinity where they live through an agent network or through a feet on the street field force. Either of them walk into their villages and their road doorsteps or set up their shops in the neighborhoods so that communities that are less aware and less banked are able to access these banking and credit services. So that is a business we are in, and we think this is very transformative. So in this journey, we have achieved several milestones that are noteworthy. We have been able to open about 3 million bank accounts across the country through this agent network that we have set up. We have been able to distribute at least $1 billion in loan value to these communities. About $500 million worth savings were mobilized through micro deposits. We have distributed almost 500,000 insurance schemes that are available under PMJDY program of Government of India. So we operate in about 20 plus states across the country. So we are growing. We use technology very effectively. So the biggest differentiation that we claim is the extensive use of technology to be able to make banking services available to these communities. So the journey is on, and we're looking forward to many more milestones.
Amazing. And moving ahead with the list of my questions, Sasi, I would also like you to shine some light on the facts like how does the organization leverage technology and local entrepreneurship to bridge the gap in the last mile banking and financial services, especially being a digital financial intermediary? Would you like to talk about that as well?
Certainly. So our business model is kind of like a bridge between a formal banking institution and communities on the ground, right? So we help banks reach these communities more efficiently. So typically, if it is a large NBFC or a bank, it is not very easy for them to serve small ticket businesses, right? So we are like an aggregator in between. So in Indian regulatory parlance, it is called business correspondent. So we are a business correspondent, try to help both unbanked population and banks to connect with each other. Now, in this model, technology is the most important enabler. On liability side, we set up these agent networks that I was talking about. Neighborhood shops are usually equipped with a mobile technology or sometimes a web-based technology, wherein these agents are able to access the bank's services and offer those services in an assisted model to the local communities. So local communities walk into these outlets, they identify themselves with their Aadhaar or their debit cards, and then they are able to actually do a transaction like an ATM transaction that we think of. This is much more than ATM because in ATM you do limited services. In a human interface that we are able to create along with technology, there is a lot of interface. Human interaction helps people to even understand the customer needs and provide services as per that. So here we try and use human and technology very effectively to make sure that the local communities get banking services very efficiently. In the lending side, we have a fleet of feet on the street agents who walk into villages and local, even urban neighborhoods where low income population reside, try to understand their credit needs and help them on board on the system. So we have built technology platforms that enable this whole thing very, very effectively. We are able to process these loans that are coming in through quick credit checks, quick underwriting models. We interact with them on video technology. So when a customer wants a loan, we interface with them on a video rather than having to send a person all the time. We allow them to pay us online. We have built an app that customers can download and actually interface with us, pay us regularly. And thanks to UPI, that is a big infrastructure that was created around COVID times, is a big enabler again to help these payments happen instantly in real time online. So we take advantage of that as well, and we also engage with our customers post their payments through the journey through multiple channels, through video channels, phone channels. We use a lot of AI also to interface with them. So there's a lot of technology that is being put in place to make sure that this whole process of loan origination to collection is seamless, and also the customers are able to access us very, very easily compared to a traditional model where they will have to wait for people to come and help them every time. So we are transitioning from a fully assisted model to a partially assisted and eventually a self-service model where a customer will be able to, transact fully online on their own. So we're building those stacks, those platforms by using, India Stack and other public digital infrastructure. And that journey is actually producing very good results. Customers are responding very, very well. Low income doesn't mean less digital. They are as digitally savvy as anybody else. We are able to notice that. And we think that technology can actually break down many of these barriers that were created in a non-technology world, a non-digital world. So we try and adopt all these capabilities that are there, AI capabilities, payment systems, video technologies, data models, to make sure that the lowest income person also can access financial services as good as anybody else in the market. So that is the journey we are on, and we are very excited to see very good early results.
Okay, perfect. And with over 3 million customers across 25 states in India, as the data states, how does Subke collaborate with financial institutions to offer credits and savings and payment or insurance-related services? Would you also like to shine some light on this segment as well?
Yes. So, see, banks are interested in different parts of the businesses. Somebody would like to have a good liability flow, right? A good deposit flow for them. Some banks would like to, increase their credit book. Some banks would like to distribute other products like insurance or pension and other things. So different banks have different needs to serve a particular market, depending on their strengths and challenges. So we, when we interact with a bank, as I said, we are intermediary. We are a bridge between a bank and the unbanked population. When we interact with the bank, we try to understand what the problem that they're trying to solve. And we see if we have a solution that we can offer to them. So a bank that is wanting to set up a local village-based touch point because they wanted to service these customers who already have accounts with their bank, but they're not able to service them, right? For example, in PMJDY, we have opened a lot of bank accounts in this country, almost 5 crore, 50 crore bank accounts were opened in last 5-7 years. Now, servicing all these bank customers through branch network is not that easy. So banks would like to set up local touch points so that these customers can get services. Either whether they want to withdraw money, they want to save money, they want to send money. So we try and set up local touch points. We call customer service points by enrolling, a reliable local agent who then becomes a micro banker for that community. So this is one model that we follow. The other model is some banks would say, hey, you know what? This is a large market base. If we are able to create a good operating model, we can actually serve the credit needs of this particular market and create a market share, right? That is a very important use case where we then come in and we try and help set up local branch network for these banks. So these are co-branded branches, which is allowed by regulation. And we employ staff on Subke's roles who act as representatives of the banks. They go into local communities and try and acquire customers for loans, generally micro loans, small loans, informal sector, unsecured loans. So we create local groups, joint liability groups, and then try to help them get onboarded. In here again, this whole local infrastructure is created by us on behalf of banks, and we put our technology on the top of it so that this whole process becomes very efficient. So these are the two primary business models that we run, and on those channels we distribute loans, savings, insurance, and other financial services that are, as I said, based on the appetite of the lender or the bank. We try and serve the needs of the communities through this model. So this model is an outsourced model in a way, but it is a fully regulated and within the purview of the governance that the bank likes it, and we sort of sometimes share risk also in this model and make sure that everybody has a skin in the game, and we operate in tandem with each other.
It's very well explained, Sasi. And now I guess our viewers would be very much interested to know about your future plans as well. You being the CEO of the organization, where do you see Subk Impact Solutions 5 years down the line?
So that's a very important question, and we grapple with it every day here. We are a firm believer of the power of technology. We think everybody's lives are changing because of digital adoption, right? Today we are doing this meeting on a digital platform, right? So we think that the benefit of the digital technology should reach everyone, and our future is going to be built on that. So banking is going to be very digital. Most of us use apps instead of bank branches. We know how things are changing around us, how AI is going to actually take over a lot of work that humans were doing on a day-to-day basis, and then upgrade humans to do more probably knowledge-based work. So we think that all this power that is going to come should be adopted for the societal good, for helping people who are not traditionally served by traditional institutions. Because in a non-digital world, it was not that easy to reach these local communities and serve them with small value businesses, especially in financial services. Money is the commodity, and if you lend small money, you make small money, and it's not good enough to cover the cost and the risk associated. Technology solves for that. You don't have to actually invest in a lot of human resources to be able to serve these communities. These communities can be served a lot better using technology. Human resources will be used as more complementary to technology in this new model, where we think that human touch is still very relevant, but it should be done where needed. It should not be done everywhere. So the lending model that we're visualizing going forward is a customer will have an app or a web interface or any digital interface that you can imagine. They will be able to access all kinds of loans on their platform. They will apply for a loan. They will self-qualify themselves by doing their own credit checks. Their own KYCs can be done today. E-KYCs are possible. They will be able to pre-qualify themselves through the platform that we're creating, so that they are credit-ready customers will be there to be able to take it forward. Now, this customer, if they need help to continue the journey, we send out a person who will then help them, continue the journey. If they're able to continue themselves, we'll provide them all the prompts through all AI bots and everything on the app itself, so that they will continue the journey as if somebody is sitting next to them, right? They will continue the journey. They'll fill up the forms, and then we will prompt them, hey, you know what, your form is ready. Are you ready to talk to them? So we may even interact with them, but we don't need to send a person. We do a video interview with them, try to understand, their businesses. We can do a geo tagging for them. We do face matching for them. We can use a lot of technology to be able to give them a experience that is as close to a typical regular interface that they would have with a banker, right? Only thing is they're doing it digitally today. So that journey, once they complete that, video KYC and video interviews, so that we know customers are real and there is something happening for them in their lives, and we are able to verify all that through data, then we move them forward to, e-sign is not new. Aadhaar enables e-sign a lot these days, so e-signs can be done, and customers can actually get their money credited in their account right away, and then they can start paying back through UPI channels, through card channels, and whatever digital channels that they like to use. Mostly UPI is the most prevalent these days. They continue to pay us. So we don't necessarily have to disturb them if they're ready for this journey. But if they're not ready, we'll send assistance where needed. And so there will always be some customers who will be starters, early starters, who may not be comfortable or who may be too aged to be able to adopt technology. For that kind of customers, we will always have a person sit with them and walk through this journey. So the idea is that out of 100 customers, you may have 50 of them who will probably able to do it themselves. There will be 30 of them who need light touch, and there will be 20 of them who need heavy touch. Today, we apply heavy touch for all the 100 customers. Hence, it is inefficient. So we will be able to build a lot of efficiency if you curate the services based on the customer's readiness. Then we are actually solving the problem much better, growing faster, serving a lot more customers, and solving this problem sooner than it would have otherwise. So that is our future. That is how we see future built on the lending side of it. Similarly, on the payment side, again, we can imagine a lot of payments will happen P2P, person to person. Payments will happen. UPI enables that. Now, agents will not be very relevant for withdrawals and deposits. There will not be much of a cash that will be required to be withdrawn because people actually transact digitally. We want agents to become financial advisors. They will help customers, identify the financial products that they need, sell insurance and investment products and perhaps loans to an extent, so that these agents upgrade themselves to be able to become bankers, but not just the transaction points. And that is the future. Again, we see it's more advisory services than actual transactional services on the payment side, and self-service journeys on the lending side is what we envisage in future.
Okay, so now we have also talked about the future endeavor, Sasi. So this seems to be the perfect place to end the conversation. But before putting an end here, so would you like to share any kind of a message with our global audience out there?
Yeah, I mean, globally, everything is changing around us. No country is left behind. No company is going to be left behind. I think people would say every company will become a tech company very soon, right? So we should be prepared for that. We should be able to build on the backbone of technology so that we can serve our customers better. And some of these technologies are also, they don't have to be defined by boundaries. One technology working in India can work in other geographies also. So once you actually build the right technology solution and the right operating model, then it can be replicated globally as well. So I think one can learn from each other. There's no need to reinvent the wheel because technology is transient. It can go beyond boundaries with, of course, the necessary protections that local laws permit. One can actually look at some of these models as global as well. So my message to my peers and colleagues globally is also to work, that we should work together to solve this problem than solving it now individually, because technology connects us. We can actually make this whole problem of poverty, problem of social exclusion and financial exclusion a lot more addressable problem if we all come together and use technology very effectively. So my message will always be to make sure that we apply the right tools and right technologies to solve this problem and not run away from it, not ignore it. We should be cognizant of the fact that the future is digital and we will have to adopt it and solve the societal problem effectively.
Very interesting. And with that, I would like you to, conclude this conversation here, Shashi. And thank you so much for joining us today and providing your valuable insights. And I hope that our global viewers out there will be able to bag food for thought from this conversation, which will help them in their respective endeavors. So with that, I would like to sign off from the conversation and hope to see you again in the futuristic conversations of Business Connect's exclusive interview series. And off we go.
Thank you, Kajal. Thank you for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to talk to you and look forward to this interview go public. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure is all us. Bye.